Hey everyone, welcome to Costco Stock Fundamental Analysis. Do you know why 81 million households pay an annual fee just to shop at Costco? How do Costco just mark up at 14% and 15% of their cost but still be profitable for more than 3 decades? And why do Costco intentionally stock very less products in their warehouse but still be very relevant in the retail world's business? So that is what we would find out in this series of Costco's fundamental analysis. As I perform any fundamental analysis of a business, I would divide it into 5 different parts. This is going to be the first part of Costco's fundamental analysis, that is understanding their business model. And the second part is going to be the analysis of historical income statement. Then the third part is going to be analyzing the cash flow statement. Fourth part is going to be analyzing the balance sheet. And finally, the key metrics, or we could also call it as the valuation metrics. So with this, let's first try to understand the company profile of Costco. Costco, as every retail business, started as a single warehouse in Seattle, Washington. Right now, it's world's number two retailer, and and it's very easy to guess who's number one. And it started in 1983, so it's almost 42, 43 years in the business. Currently, it's headquartered in Washington, and CEO is Ron Watchus. And the interesting fact about the CEO, Ron Watchus, is Ron joined Costco business in 1984 as a part-time forklift operator. From all the way as a forklift operator, Mr. Ron raised his grade, and currently he is the CEO. Might be if you get a chance, I would definitely suggest to study about Ron Watchus career progression within Costco. Next, the ticker symbol for Costco is COST, listed in NASDAQ stock market, and it was IPO'd in 1985, and it has approximately 340,000 employees all across the world as per the fiscal year 2025 annual report. And finally, it operates in warehousing or hypermarket business. And a key data points about Costco: first founded in 1983, then IPO'd, then went to IPO in 1985. In 1993, they merged with Price Club, and in 1997, their first international warehouse, that was in UK. Then in 2019, they expanded into China. Then in 2024, just a couple of years before, they increased the membership fee. Previously, it was $60 per annum. Then in 2024, they increased it to $65. Then in 2025, they set at 914 warehouses globally. So this is a brief company profile. The next thing is, as of today, if I want to summarize Costco in three operational numbers, they have 914 warehouses spread across 14 countries, and they have 81 million paid members with 145 cardholders. Maybe we would just try to understand why the cardholder member is slightly higher than the paid members. And finally, 92.3% of membership renewal rate, which is almost everyone. They keep on renewing the Costco membership just to shop there. Then the next one is business model. How the business model, or how actually Costco works. In my opinion, there is four key things which Costco follows, which is how their business model is built around for the last 4 decades. The first one is the 14% rule, or we can even call it as 15% rule to an extent. So what it is whatever merchandise or products Costco get from their external suppliers or vendors, they only mark it up at 14% of the cost. And if it is Kirkland products, which is the Costco signature brand or Costco's own brand, they mark it up at only 15%. Whereas if you take a look at other retail giants, they do mark up typically at 20% or more. Then the second thing is zero advertising. In my opinion, Costco's advertising or marketing comes from just word of mouth. And the third one is narrow SKU count. So what this SKU count is, let's try to understand with a simple example of ketchup. If you go to Walmart, you could see at least 5 different brands of ketchup, and each and every brand could have a multiple different size. One can be having a 5 ounce bottle, one can be 10 ounce, one can be 20 ounce, and in that way, each and every brands they have different volume size of bottle. On the other hand, if you go into Costco and look for ketchup, there will be one or maximum two brands of ketchup, and there will be only one packaging size for each brand there. That is the advantage which Costco have compared to other retailers like Walmart or Target. In this case, what happens is the overhead cost to negotiate with the suppliers or the brands is lesser from the Costco's end, and they will have an upper hand in negotiating the cheaper prices with the suppliers. So this is also one of the major reasons why Costco can give the products in bulk in much lesser price compared to other retailers. Then finally, the membership gift. Of course, every member or every household, they pay $65 per annum just to enter into the Costco. So in my opinion, these are all the four strong things which glue together the Costco's entire business model. The next one, the warehouse growth. Costco is not an over the night business. It has been there for at least 4 decades now, and it has been consistently grown. And we would take a look at how the total warehouse grown over the period of last 10 years. In the end of fiscal year 2015, there is 686 stores. From there, consistently the count have been increased, and in the most recent fiscal year, that is end of 2025, they had 914 warehouses. Even in the year 2020, during the peak COVID time, they have consistently opened the new store. That shows how consistent and how confident the business is in opening the new warehouses. So in the last 10 years, they have opened 228 warehouses. In the look, if you look at the 10-year CAGR, it is at 2.9%. It is at a not very flashy thing like they open a lot of warehouses over a period of time. It is a steady growing number. And then by end of fiscal year 2025, they have 914 warehouse, 24 new warehouse compared to the previous year. So the next thing what I would like to understand is where this 914 warehouses are located. So that is where the first thing is in the US plus PR, there is 629 warehouse. In Canada, there is 110 warehouse. So just by US plus Canada, they have around 740 stores, which is almost 75% of the total stores which they have. On top of it, there are bunch of stores in Mexico, Japan, UK, Korea, Australia, then 14 stores in Taiwan and 7 stores in China mainland, then Spain, France, Sweden, Iceland, and New Zealand. So they are spread all across the world, but predominantly US plus Canada, around 75% of their stores are located. Then the next thing what I would look at is how much the total number of paid members are there for the Costco business. Because in my opinion, the membership cost drives the business for Costco. So there should be keen interest to look at how much paid members are there for Costco business. So this is how the numbers looks like for the total number of paid members. In the fiscal year 2016, they had 47.6 million, and by end of fiscal year 2025, they had 81 million paid subscription or paid membership. So over the last decade, they added 33.4 million paid members. Then if you look at in the CAGR number, it grown at 6.1. There is not even a single year where the number is stagnant or the number has been declined. And finally, compared to the last fiscal year, they have increased 4.8 million members. This chart projects us how loyal the Costco members are and how frequently and how well they keep on renewing the membership. On top of it, Costco is also trying to acquire the new member into their business. And next thing, what I would also try to look at is the membership. What are the membership plan available? We have seen Costco have reported 81 million members by end of fiscal year 2025, with the card holders as 145 million members. Might be it's not very surprising to see why the total card holder is higher than the paid members, because if you recollect, there is two membership tiers in Costco. One is the Gold Star, or they call it as, or they also refer it as household membership, and the next one is the executive membership. In the executive membership, if you buy it, you can get the two cards. You can get two cards for one household. That is why the total card holder is slightly higher than the paid members. Then, while looking at Costco, it's also important to touch upon the Kirkland. Kirkland is their signature brand or their homegrown brand. Like how Vince, like how Walmart has a great value, Costco has Kirkland, which is their own private label. So the Kirkland was found in 1995, and Costco has 15% of markup price for all the Kirkland products, whereas for other products which they are getting from external merchandise, they would mark it up at only 14% each. And finally, as of the fiscal year 2025, Kirkland product contributed to 33% or one third of the total sale of Costco business. So next, what I would like to point out is Costco is not just a warehouse or just another retail store. It has a lot of ancillary business attached to it. Those are, the first thing is gas station. To be honest, first I got the Costco membership just to fill the gas in Costco because it is easily less than 20 or 25 cents less per gallon compared to the other gas stations across the town. Next thing is food courts. While talking about food court, a special mention to the hot dog price, which is $1.5 for the last 4 decades. And even in one of the press conference, Costco's management have again reiterated they have no intention to increase the hot dog price in near future. Next, they have a pharmacy, and the fourth one is optical and hearing. Fifth one is Costco.com, just to compete or just to stay in touch with all the new age retail business. Costco.com is there, which is online shopping of Costco. Next, Costco Travel. Next one is Costco Credit Card. Might be if you get a Costco credit card, the better part is you would get 5% of cash back whenever we fill gas in the Costco gas station. And finally, for me, it's the most lucrative part in Costco. Costco even started selling gold and silver in their warehouses or even in their online, that is Costco.com, for the last 2.5 to 3 years. If you are someone who does buy gold or silver frequently, and if you have executive membership, it is very lucrative because, say, if you are buying gold for $5,000, you would get 2% cashback, which is $100. That almost covers your executive membership cost for the year. With this, I would like to move to the next topic, that is the real estate. Yes, even though Costco is a warehouse business or retail business, lot of people misunderstanding the real estate part of it. Yes, we have talked previously, Costco have 914 warehouses, but we also need to look at what real estate they have. That is, how many of those warehouses they have it on their own, and how much they have rented it or leased it. That is where I would like to point you to the next key information or the beautiful part in the real estate. So Costco basically owns most of the dirt or most of the land. What I mean is, Costco, out of the 914 warehouses, they own the land plus building for the 725 warehouses, which is almost 80%, 79% of the warehouse. Then for 141 warehouses, they just lease the land, but they have built the warehouse on top of the land which has been leased. And finally, they have 48 warehouses which is fully leased. That is only 5% of their footprint. Someone could ask, right? Why is it even important to understand how much Costco owns and how much Costco lease? So this is where I feel understanding of a balance sheet is much important. Costco, by end of the day, is a US business, and all the US business follow GAAP accounting principle to prepare their financial statement. If you go to the Costco's balance sheet, they could have had something as property, plant, and equipment. In that, land is one of the property, plant, equipment for Costco. Assume Costco could have bought a land 20 years before for $1 million, and they constructed the building on top of it. Even today, if you go and look at Costco, the land which was bought 20 years before, that would still reflect the 1 million as a historical value. As per US GAAP, re-evaluating the land price year on year is not uh, permittable. But realistically, if you look at the price 1 million, which was bought 20 years before, could have been multifolded as of today. That can be even 20 million or 30 million. So while Costco sell the land, or if Costco thinks for whatsoever reason they want to close the warehouse and sell the land, the $30 million will be one of the non-operational income coming into the income statement that will eventually make Costco business attractive and very cash friendly. So that is why I would highly suggest, whenever you look at any business, also look at the real estate. If the real estate is mostly owned, which means it is a hidden balance sheet asset, and if the real estate is mostly leased or rented, uh, as per the real estate grows or as per the rent increase, their expense also increase. That is why special attention need to be given to understand how the real estate of the business works. And while we look at the moat or advantage of a business, it's also important to look at what are all the risks. And I will explain a few risks which Costco highlighted in the annual report. The first thing is membership renewal at risk. Of course, I'm reading Costco's 10K report for last 5 6 years. On all the last 5 6 years, they put this risk. They put up membership renewal rate risk, but I have never seen membership renewal rate is going down. But still, since it is in the 10K, I just want to be transparent on this. So at any point in time, yes, if the membership count goes down, there might be a risk in the business because membership is a considerable revenue for Costco. Second thing is domestic saturation. As we have previously seen, around 70% of the store is in US. So which means each and every new store opening will be competition for the other stores. And the third risk which has been highlighted is international execution. That is, whenever the business is going out of a country, they'll out going out into a new country, they have a new laws to abide by, they have new governing body to abide by. Those are all the, that is also one of a risk for any business. Then the fourth one is supply chain plus tariff. I feel with the current geopolitical tension with Iran going on, there is a lot of supply chain issues happening right now, which might also impact it, because Costco have explicitly mentioned they import a lot of their goods from Asia. So if there is any supply chain issue there, that would also be an impact. And the next risk, which Costco even highlighted in their annual report, is their competition with their other retailers like Walmart and Amazon. Amazon, they have the same day delivery, and even for some qualified product, they have 2 hour delivery. And even Walmart, right now, they're expanding their online business, which is also something which Costco highlighted in their 10K report as their risk. So that's it for this video. I feel these are the key points which everyone need to be aware of about the Costco when we are trying to do the fundamental analysis. I hope you learned something new or found something interesting from this video. And in the next part of video, we will analyze the historical income statement for 10 years and see how the Costco business have evolved. That's it for this video. Thank you so much and take care.